Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to South Motors Infiniti for giving me time with the 2022 Infiniti QX60 Luxe. If you're in the market for an Infiniti, you can come check out South Motors Infiniti and they will get you into a new or pre-owned vehicle. But let's talk about pricing for the Infiniti QX60. Starting price is at $52,900, including destination. This one stickers for $55,435. But let's talk about the front styling for this all-new QX60. Let's talk about the exterior styling here of the Infiniti QX60. As you guys can see here, very aggressive styling compared to the previous generation. As you guys can see, this is all new generation for 2022. But looking at the headlight modules here, they're going to be an LED projector headlight with an automatic low and high beam, LED turn signal, and daytime running light. Looking at the grille, very large grille here with the Infiniti logo front and center. I do like this nice design cue that you have in the actual grille. And looking down here, it does have Infiniti spelled out as a low part of the grille. This one is painted black with the chrome, so it does look really good. I'm not a big fan of chrome, but this one looks really good here in the Luxe package. There's also front parking sensors here. And this area right here is not functional, but I do like the design cue that it has, just like in the actual front grille. But stepping away from the QX60, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this current generation. But looking at the side profile here, this has a 114.2 inch wheelbase with an overall length of 198.2 inches. So Infiniti did get the proportions right here in this segment. Looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 255/60 Bridgestone tire. They're wrapped in this 20-inch rim design. I actually like the Luxe rim design here. You can get different rim design, of course, depending on which trim level that you guys get. And of course, it wouldn't have been SUV without the side cladding here. You get more of the cladding here at the lower part of the door panel. Looking at the mirror cap here, there's this LED side marker. And up top, my model does have this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin. There's also these nicely integrated roof rails here. But making our way to the rear of the QX60, as you guys can see, looking at these taillights here, they're going to be a full LED, which is the turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. There's the Infiniti name, which is spelled out, which is a really nice touch. There's this large QX60 badge to let everyone know that you have the QX60. There's also rear parking sensors, and there's this fake exhaust trim piece. They got that from Volkswagen. I'm not sure why Infiniti didn't offer real exhaust trim, but I guess to make it look cleaner back here. But it does look really clean at the rear of the vehicle. There's also these multi-reflector integrated into the actual rear bumper here. There's also this aluminum plate here to protect the bumper. That's the Infiniti logo. This is rear wiper. There's a shark fan antenna also with a third brake light right there. To open up the cargo back here, Infiniti puts the button right there. Once it opens up, it reveals 14.5 cubic feet of space. And to fold down the third row here, it folds down at a flat angle. Once you fold down everything, that expands the cargo to 75.4 cubic feet of space. So you have plenty of cubic feet of space here in the QX60. And underneath here, Infiniti also gives you some very deep underfloor storage, which is really nice. And I love the carpet, it's very plush. But let's hop into the interior of this new generation QX60. Before getting into the interior of the QX60, as you guys can see here, looking at the current key fob, there's a nice key to hold in your hands or to have in your pocket. There's the Infiniti logo on top of the key fob. There's a remote start mode, a lock, unlock, a trunk release, and a panic button. To use the remote start mode, just lock the vehicle and hold the button down here. Once you guys do that, the vehicle will start right up. So you can do it inside your house, or you can do it through the Infiniti app if Infiniti does have remote start on the app. You can also lock the vehicle via the door handle in the back. So if your kids wanted to lock the car, they can press the button here. And to open the door, just rest your hand behind the door handle. And looking at this interior here, very upscale interior compared to the previous generation. As you guys can see, these are two 12.3 inch displays. You also have a digital display here, which is a 12.3 inch display. Like I mentioned, it's going to be a dual setup. But getting inside the QX60 here and reaching over here to shut the door, as you guys can hear, all that outside noise is completely eliminated because this cabin does have some really good sound deadening materials in it. So to start up the vehicle, just press the start button down here. The vehicle is already in remote start mode, but once you put your foot on the brake and press the button, it basically turns on everything. But let's look at the door panel materials very quickly. Really nice leather, nice stitching. There's 2-person memory seats. So if your spouse wanted to drive the car one day and you don't like the way that they have their seat set up, you can basically press L. You can press 1 or the 2, however you guys want to have the seat set up there. There's your lock controls, mirror controls here. You can power fold the mirrors in via this button here. As you guys can see, the mirrors will pull power fold in and out. It is auto up, auto down for all 4 windows. Like I mentioned, really good sound deadening materials that Infiniti uses. There's some aluminum trim here on the actual door panel. This area is going to be nice and padded. This armrest here is nice and padded as well. There's cup holder and storage space. That's your active lane trace assist, and also your trunk release button is there. I'm missing 3 more options here. Maybe you go for a top trim. Infiniti might basically fill up these buttons here. There's the headlight and turn signal stock, wind wiper stock is there. I do like this new steering wheel design. There's the Infiniti logo on the airbag cover. You can also customize this 12.3-inch display by basically using the scroll wheel here. It shows you different stuff like your driver's assistant. Going over to the left here, it shows you what's playing via your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So you can customize this to your liking. The materials on the dash are gonna be a nice soft touch ejection molded plastic with some nice stitching here. I do like this texture that Infiniti uses. Like I mentioned, this is a 12.3-inch display. Unfortunately, it does not take up the whole entire screen. I wish Infiniti would basically allow you to do that. I try to do it through the settings, but unfortunately, I don't think they allow you to take up the full 12-inch display. But the Apple CarPlay does show very bright. It is wireless because my iPhone 13 Pro Max is right here. And there's also a nice area to put your phone in. Looking here at the Google Maps, it does take up the complete screen. Going here to the Infiniti interface here, you can, basically save different widgets and whatnot, or set up the screen to your liking. Like for example, if I go to split screen here, I can do turn-by-turn navigation. So once you have your navigation set up, you can do the 5-day weather. So right now it's showing that it is cloudy, which it is. So the weather is accurate in this vehicle. It shows you hourly weather forecast. So you can basically customize this however you would like it to do and whatnot. So really good options. I'm going to basically just leave it on audio. Nice material here, nice stitching. There's air vents here. There's a volume knob. This also has a dual climate control. There's 3-level heated and cool seats. The cool seats right now, they work freaking fantastic. Just basically press this button here. It's going to be a touch sensitive panel, which honestly I do like. It does have some nice feedback to it. There's a hazard button here, which is a physical button. You can also darken the screen, or you can lighten it up via this button here. There's a tune function. There's a sync and track. There's a heated steering wheel function. Just press that button there and it turns on the heated steering wheel function, but unfortunately I don't really need it. It's only for someone in a cold weather state. The rim of the steering wheel is very thick. There's paddle shifters for that new 9-speed automatic. There's no more CVT underneath the hood. Like I mentioned, there's a push button start. There's some aluminum trim here around the shifter. Putting the vehicle into reverse, just press this trigger and switch up here. It does reveal a top-down 360 view. There's trajectory with distance markers, and Infiniti says you can tow up to 3,500 pounds. So it does have some really good towing numbers here. To put into drive, just kick it back. And to go into manual mode, just basically pull it again. And the park button is right here. There's your drive mode selector, which shows you sport, personal, standard, and eco. I wish the gauge cluster did change like a red or something when it went into actual sport mode and whatnot, but that's just a small nitpick. There's your automatic start stop button here. This controller here, you can adjust what you want to use instead of using the actual touchscreen, for example. There's a back button. You can also access the camera via this button here. We'll show you a front and rear view. There's map, menu, and audio. So there's some shortcut buttons here around the actual shifter. There is electronic parking brake, auto hold. There's 2 cup holders here with some aluminum trim around the cup holders. This area here is going to be stitched in leather and whatnot. So really nice materials that Infiniti uses. Open up this, it does reveal a decent amount of storage. There's a 12-volt, also with a USB charging port in there. The area here is going to be nice and padded. The seats in here, they're very comfortable, very supportive. I do like the head restraints, they're very futuristic looking head restraints. And above me, as you guys can see, large panoramic sunroof. The lighting in this cabin is going to be an LED, which is really nice. Looking at the glove compartment here, it does offer a deep amount of storage. Overall, this interior is a huge improvement compared to the previous generation. Getting into the back seat of the Infiniti QX60, as you guys can see here, my model does have the bench seating, so you can sit up to 7 people in comfort. If you go for the captain's chairs, you can only sit up to 6 people in comfort, so keep that in mind. The bench seating does offer more seating capacity. But let's talk about the door panel materials here very quickly. Really nice materials that Infiniti uses. I love the nice stitching here. There's some aluminum trim here on the actual door panel. The switchgear does feel really nice. There's more stitching here. This area is going to be nice and padded. There is additional cup holder and storage space here. There's also this manual sunshade here to block out the sun. And that's how you get into the third row. You press this button here. You can also lay the seat flat via this handle here. And this also becomes a recline function once you're sitting in the actual seat. But getting back here, as you guys can see, I do have around 37.7 inches of legroom here in the second row. So plenty of legroom space here in the second row. And you can slide the seat forward and back to give the third row passengers a little bit more space. There is 2 map pockets for storage. You also have your own set of climate controls here. There's a type C port with a type A port. There's also a 12-volt. And the floor back here is completely flat, so you can fit 3 people across. And above me is going to be this large panoramic sunroof. Unfortunately, it does not go into the actual third row. There's going to be the dome lighting right here. There's also your air vent. There's this grab handle here. But to get into the third row, Infiniti makes it very simple. Press this button down here. Once you do that, the seat will basically push out of its way. There's also a button right here. So if you're sitting in the third row, you can press this button right here to get out of the vehicle. As you guys can see, there's plenty of aisle space to get into the third row here. But getting back here, I'm gonna sit behind this seat here. This is what the seat as far as setting. And Infiniti says you have around 28 inches of legroom. I know it sounds very tight, but with me being 5'8", I do have plenty of space back here in the third row. Like I mentioned, there's this button here to get out of the third row. There's also two cup holders here. There is a USB charging port. Unfortunately, you do not get a USB charging port on this side, but you do get two cup holders here. And there's this decent sized window here just in case you guys get claustrophobic. There's your air vents up top. The seat comfort back here is very plush and comfortable. So Infiniti didn't cheap out on the third row like some other competitors will do. And above there's going to be the dome lighting. But overall, the second and third row of the Infiniti QX60 does feel very spacious. But keep in mind, if you're over 6 feet tall, the third row is not a place to sit. Looking underneath the hood of the Infiniti QX60, this uses Infiniti's 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. This powertrain makes 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. There is no more CVT underneath the hood. Infiniti has dropped the CVT. Now they have this 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is rated at 21 in the city, 26 on the highway, and 23 combined. As of this filming, Infiniti does not offer a hybrid option or a plug-in variant, so you would have to look at the other competitors if you want that hybrid powertrain. And as the Infiniti QX60 sits here, it weighs in around 4,400 pounds. All QX60s still remain front wheel drive. You can get all wheel drive as an option, and this can tow 3,500 pounds. Starting off in the 2022 Infiniti QX60, let's talk about the ride comfort here. This vehicle drives very smooth. The steering has some really good feedback to it. Also, this is a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6. This powertrain makes 295 horsepower and 270 pound-feet of torque. So really good numbers here for this V6 powertrain. There is no more CVT. Infiniti has dropped the CVT. Now they offer a 9-speed automatic transmission. The seats in here, they're supportive, they're comfortable. They're 3-level heated and cooled seats, which is really nice. The visibility out of this vehicle is great. You also have this low dash. I like these large 12.3-inch displays. You can customize this digital display like I mentioned. Also with this nice infotainment system, it does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But let's come to a stop here and put the vehicle into its sport mode here. Floor it from a stop. And this is front wheel drive. This is front wheel drive. It was cutting the power very bad there because it's feeding nearly 300 horsepower to the front wheels. You can also get all-wheel drive, but keep in mind that will be an additional option. So if you guys are trying to keep the cost down, but I think Infiniti probably charges around $2,000 or so for their all-wheel drive system. But my model does come standard with front wheel drive. But this vehicle does drive very smooth. I like the powertrain delivery. The 9-speed automatic is very good to shift. Fuel economy is rated at 21 in the city, 26 on the highway, and 23 combined. It does get good gas mileage, but if you guys are looking for a hybrid option or a plug-in variant, you have to look at the other competitors in this segment. Let's use the paddle shifters here. This thing is really good. The paddle shifters do give you some nice feedback, and the QX60 does have a smooth and compliant ride. You put your family in here, of course. You also have plenty of space in the cargo area. My model does have the bench seating, so you can sit up to 7 people in comfort. If you go for the captain's chairs, you will only be able to sit up to 6 people. This also has really good tech. Let's talk about the driver's assistance. This has blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist, forward collision warning with emergency braking, road cross traffic alert. So all the nice driver's assistant features that you guys are looking for, Infiniti does offer it. Like I mentioned, the seats are supportive, they're comfortable, they're 3-level heated and cool seats. I love the way this vehicle drives. Good power delivery here from the V6. The paddle shifters are responsive. And this thing loves to rev. I like this powertrain, it's a good powertrain. Let's put the vehicle into its eco mode here, and this is basically cruise. But just putting the vehicle in its eco mode, the revs kind of simmer down a little bit and not in the high rev range. But this vehicle drives really good. Going over some potholes and whatnot, the suspension does a good job of soaking up the harsh roads that we have here in Miami. And the QX60, a lot of people are looking at this vehicle, just trying to figure out what this is. This vehicle looks very elegant, looks different compared to the previous generation. It offers more tech. The cabin has some really nice materials. I like the nice elegant look that the cabin has. But me personally, if you guys are looking for something different in the segment and you don't want the other competitors, I think Infiniti built something extremely special here in the QX60. After spending time with the 2022 Infiniti QX60, hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Drive On Reviews and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next review.